Hi folks, how's everybody doing? I'm in front of my house recording this video. I hope everybody's doing well. Uh, Today I want to talk about Paul, Apostle Paul. I've been reading the book of Acts. Paul used to be a persecutor of the church, right? He thought that persecuting the Christians was actually serving God, right? He thought that the Christians are bad. It's a sect that went wrong, right? So Paul started to persecute Christians, and then he was passionate about it. He went extreme to the extreme, and he got a permission from the high priest to go to the Damascus to catch Christians and bring them to Jerusalem and persecute them and put them in jail. So on his way to Damascus, he almost got there, but a bright light shone around him, and he fell to the ground, and he heard a voice that says, "Why are you persecuting me?" And Paul asked, "Who are you?" "Who are you, Lord?" And Jesus said, "I am Jesus whom you are persecuting." So he heard the voice of Jesus, and then after that he was blinded, and then he was led by other people, and he went to a house and he fasted for 3 days. He was blind, he didn't eat or drink, and God sent one of the saints from Damascus to go to the house where Paul was staying, and he prayed over Paul, and then at that time something like scales fell from his eyes, and he began to see, and then he received the Holy Spirit, and he started to eat, and then he became a Christian, right? He believed in Jesus. And then he's now the totally opposite. He used to really be passionate about persecuting Christians, killing Christians. Now he's really passionate about Jesus, spreading the gospel, missions and evangelism. So after that, Paul became one of the most famous apostles, most famous missionary in the whole history of Christianity, right? He traveled all over the world preaching the gospel, missions, and he saved so many people. He planted so many churches. He wrote the Bible, the New Testament. Almost 2/3 of the New Testament Paul wrote. Those are his letters. What I'm trying to say is that Paul was very passionate. He was passionate about God, but he didn't know better, right? He thought killing Christians was what God wanted, so he was so passionate about that. After he met Jesus, he met the true God, Jesus. He found out, no, preaching the gospel, saving lives, saving people, planting church, that's what's very important, and he was so passionate about that, right? So, and then the rest is history. The people started to believe in Jesus, and as a result of Paul's ministry, we became Christians, right? Gentiles, right? Before Paul, mostly Christians were Jewish people, but after Paul, all the Christians are the non-Jewish people, right? What I want to say is that today I watched a YouTube video. It's related to the sermon, Paul's story. There was a black man who used to be a truck driver, and then he pays the bill. He has a family, 2 sons and a wife, but he's not really passionate about driving trucks every day. And he heard a sermon, something like sermon, and it says that every morning you get up, right, and you're not passionate about doing your work. If you don't want to get out of bed, then that job is not for you. God made you to do something else, right? So this man, he thought about what the sermon said, and every morning he wake up, his he's not passionate about driving trucks. So, and he thought about what he's passionate about. And he realized that he loves to bake cakes. That's his passion. He always helped his mom cake bakes at home. So he quit his truck driving and he started his baking business, and it got popular, and it got big. And he became successful. Okay, to make the long story short, so when you pursue your dreams, you gotta do something you are good at, that you like to do, and you are passionate about, right? That should be your job. You are so happy to get up in the morning to do the work that you have to do, right? That should be your job. But if you are not happy in the morning to get up to go to work, I guess God didn't make you for that job, right? God gave us talents and gifts and abilities to everybody, and some people are talented in this, some people are talented in this, some people like to do this, do that. So your job, your talent, God has given you, right? You got to find something you are passionate about that you like to do, and that should be your career. That should be your job. You can't chase after money. You can't chase after stability or fame or popularity. You gotta chase after something that you like to do, you're passionate about, that gift that God has given you, right? If you are doing something contrary to your gift, you're going against the upstream. That's why you feel so much stress. You're doing something that you really don't enjoy doing. That's why you're going upstreams against the waters. That's why it's gonna be hard. So today's sermon is about your futures, your careers. Like Paul was so passionate, so dedicated. The greatest missionary in the history of Christian history. So you gotta do something you're passionate about, and God's gonna bless whatever you are doing. Okay? I want to end on this note. Last week I preached about David and Goliath. David is Jesus, Goliath is Satan, and David slung, right, the slingshot. That represents prayer. Okay? So every time you pray, you are slinging the slingshot, the stone, to the Goliath's forehead. So don't stop praying. Continue to pray and continue to attack Satan. Slingshot, slingshot, slingshot. Continue to pray, pray, pray until he falls down. Okay, that's what David and Goliath represents. Okay, you constantly pray, pray, pray. The devil will eventually fall if you keep attacking the devil with the prayer, with the slingshot. Okay. And about the sermon today, follow your dreams, do something you're passionate about. God has given us gifts and talents and abilities. Don't chase after money and fame and everything else. Do something that makes you passionate and makes you happy, right? Hope everybody's doing well. God bless. Bye-bye.